Hello, howdy, long time no see. I swear every time I film a video, I start it with long time no see or something along those lines because I suck at keeping a consistent schedule, but that's just besides the point. I hope you guys are doing well. The world is still falling apart. I'm doing okay. I've cut my hair, cut myself some bangs, bleached my hair, dyed my hair, cut some more bangs, all since last speaking to you. So that's how my quarantine is going. Yeah, I've started the semester. So if you're a college student or you're a student in general or a teacher or whatever, like you've probably started the semester too. And I hope you're doing online courses, but if you're not, like, I don't know, just online classes fucking suck. But you know what? In person sucks more. So don't know where I was going with that line of thinking. But that leads nicely to my second point, which is this video is not going to be scripted. I'm going to be talking about politics, my political beliefs. So if you're just not interested in listening to that, listening to me be a little preachy, then just click off. Again, this video is not going to be scripted. I took a couple of melatonin pills before I started filming. So this is a race against time before these pills kick in and I get tired. If this video is not as coherent as my other videos, there are a list of reasons as to why, but mostly I just couldn't be asked to outline, couldn't be asked to put my makeup on, I couldn't be asked to clean my freaking room. If you're wondering what that pink little thing back there is, it's just a bunch of clothing on a couch that I just covered with a blanket because why not? So this video is going to be about an author that I've talked about on my channel before. So if you've watched my more popular videos, and by popular I mean like, I don't even know how many views, but it's not that many. If you've watched my more popular videos, then you know this author, like she's not going to be new to you, but she is the author of, quote, the worst book I've ever read. So we're going to be talking about Miss McGuire. And the reason being a while ago, I retweeted something onto my timeline. You should follow me on Twitter, in which someone screenshotted a bunch of Jamie McGuire's tweets. And they're not great. They're not great. I want to talk about them because I'm just really frustrated by politics right now. I mean, when am I not frustrated about politics? When are you not frustrated about politics? It's just the state of politics. But I've been thinking a lot about the 2020 presidential election and the Black Lives Matter movement and all of that. So when this came on my timeline, I just knew I was going to make a video about it. Catherine Locke tweeted, "I have 13 mutuals with Jamie McGuire." See screenshots, she's replying and signal boosting Nazis, says she'll riot Furka Rittenhouse, says she'll blow up a trans person's skirt. She's retweeting QAnon shit, which gross, sis. Do better. I love how this is like where I draw the line, like, this is who you support, unfollow me immediately if you won't unfollow her, which I quoted that and said something to the effect of, Jamie McGuire is a trash author, her fans are trash, or something like that, and I stand by my statement. And I went onto her Twitter account, Jamie McGuire's Twitter account, and I had like a couple of mutuals with her and I just unfollowed them because ew, why? I generally don't believe in book shaming. Like, I read some trashy ass books. Not everything I read is like, you know, the pinnacle of literature. I feel like if you want to read what you want to read and you're not hurting anybody, then who cares? But supporting an author like Jamie McGuire is just really shitty. It's really shitty, and I can't support someone who supports someone like McGuire. So that's why if you are one of the couple of people that I unfollowed, like that's why. Let's get into the tweets because they are fucking awful. The first tweet is Jamie McGuire quote tweeting a Hillary Clinton tweet about Black Lives Matter, and saying that she's praying for Jacob Blake, who, if you don't know, he was an unarmed black man. Well, unarmed is kind of contested at this point, but whatever. He was a black man who was shot several times in the back in front of his children while trying to enter his car. I feel like when it comes to most of these Black Lives Matter stories, you know, these cases of unarmed black people being shot and killed, there's always some kind of contention that people throw up. Jamie McGuire is going to mention it too in her tweet, but I'll get to that in a second. Conservatives always have like this first line of defense that they go to, which is, you know, oh, they had a criminal past, or oh, they were reaching for a gun or a knife or some other type of weapon, or oh, they looked scary, or, you know, oh, they were holding something that looked like a weapon. So of course the officer is completely justified in the murder of this black person. And Jamie McGuire is going to do the same exact shit in this quote tweet, which is absolutely infuriating, but bottom line, Jacob Blake didn't deserve to be shot multiple times in the back by an officer close range in front of his children. And I'm not going to really debate that. And if you're going to debate that in the comments, I'm just going to delete your comments because that's not what this video is about. So I just wanted to get that out there. All of this is to say that I'm not debating what happened with Jacob Blake. It was completely immoral. The police were in the wrong. Point blank period. On to Jamie McGuire's tweet. So she quoted Hillary Clinton's tweet by saying, "First, make no mistake, Hillary," with a K, right? Nice. "Hillary is praying to her Lord Satan." And you see, this is why I can't take conservatives fucking seriously. Like, if you think Hillary Clinton is worshiping Satan, but you support Trump, like, sis, if Hillary is praying to Satan, what the fuck do you think Trump is doing? I'm not a Hillary supporter by any means. I'm not a Biden supporter by any means. But this whole QAnon shit just, it's so absurd that I can't help but laugh, because typically people who believe this stuff are like adamant Trump supporters, which makes no fucking sense to me, because if you're going to point a finger at these establishment Democrats and these, you know, liberal Hollywood folk or whatever for being child predators or for being just amoral, devil-worshipping sinners, and then you have Trump out there who has hella sexual assault allegations against him, who has done a bunch of fucking shady stuff even before he became president, and has only, you know, gotten worse with age. If you support that man, then you just have some cognitive dissonance that I just can't trust your stability. I can't trust your cognitive abilities, bro. Second, she is standing with the criminal who brandished his gun earlier, ran to his children to use them as human shields, and then tried to pull his gun on officers with those children present. First of all, I know I said that I wasn't gonna argue about Jacob Blake having, you know, not deserved to be murdered by the fucking police. You know, we have a due process system in this country, even though our justice system is fucked up the ass. We do have a due process system. So regardless of if he was reaching for a gun, regardless of whatever he was doing, right? You can't argue for the execution of this man, point blank period, because that's not how any of this works. Just the framing of the entire scenario of, oh, he was gonna go use his children as human shields. You weren't fucking there. He was reaching for a weapon. There was no gun found. First of all, like, oh, this is just so aggravating because like the logic is so convoluted. When I was 14, Mike Brown was killed by police officers in Ferguson, and that's when the Black Lives Matter movement really gained some traction. And I remember thinking back then, even then, like, Black Lives Matter is a no-brainer. Like, obviously, if you know, if you are unarmed, or if you are no immediate threat to a police officer, they have no fucking right to shoot you. Like, that was just a no-brainer to me. And even now, like, it's still a no-brainer to me. It's just baffling to me that at 14 I could understand, like, okay, obviously Black Lives Matter, obviously, you know, Black people are disproportionately more policed, they get harsher sentences, they're more likely to be murdered by the police, they're more likely to be sexually assaulted by the police. Like, there are a myriad of issues in regards to our justice system. Or, you know, the entire fabric of our nation is riddled with inequality. Like, even at 14 I understood, and maybe it's because I'm a Black woman and I'm just, you know, more aware of this stuff. But at 41, Jamie McGuire is on social media preaching to her followers that this Black man deserved to be shot multiple times in the back for, you know, a minor domestic dispute in front of his children. Like, he deserved all of that because, quote, he tried to pull his gun on officers. There was no gun in the car, sis. And even if there was, if an officer can't de-escalate a situation like that and needs to resort to shooting a man multiple times in the back in front of his children, like, I keep saying that, but it's just such a horrific scenario to me. If an officer can't do that, then why the fuck does he have his badge, and why are you wasting your breath defending him? Whatever. First tweet, trash. Let's go to the next tweet, which is even more trash. It is a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse, the domestic terrorist. If you're not from America, or if you haven't been paying attention to the news lately, in a recent protest following the shooting of Jacob Blake, this man, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, drove across state lines to go protect private property in a city where he's not from, in a state where he's not from, with guns he should not have owned. Just, there is a lot of stuff that does not make sense to me. He went there And while in the midst of the chaos of the protests, I think something happened and he ended up shooting a protester. And when that happened, which was fully recorded, when that happened, this stuff is just so frustrating to me. When that happened, he ran away from shooting somebody with the gun he should not have owned, in a city where he's not from, in a state where he's not from, defending property he doesn't own, like all of that. He ran from the person he fucking shot, and protesters followed him saying he shot someone, like, oh, stop him, he killed someone, he shot someone, whatever. And they were chasing after him, and he turned around and he shot 2 more people, I believe, and another person died. So in total, 2 people died from his actions and another person was injured. And officers just let him go that night. Like, they were literally walking past him. He held his hands up in surrender, and the officers just kept it pushing. Like, they kept on walking past him. And he got to go home that night alive. And this guy is who conservatives like Jamie McGuire have turned into some kind of martyr. Why? Why? What the fuck? Why? The dissonance between her demonizing Jacob Blake in one tweet and saying that his shooting was justified, that he was a bad man who was using his children as a shield and he was reaching for a weapon and was completely, she was offering him the worst version of events. Like, she was fully willing to buy into whatever worst case scenario she could think of to justify what had happened, so she wouldn't have to critically engage with the idea that maybe there is a problem in America, right? Like, she on one hand demonized Jacob Blake, but then on the other hand is willing to give this man, this fucking domestic terrorist, the benefit of the doubt. So I don't even think I said what she tweeted with that picture of Kyle Rittenhouse. She tweeted, "I will riot for him. You need help. You need help." The next tweet is a trans woman wearing a skirt and a Black Lives Matter shirt, and someone quoted that saying, "These people are trying to take your rights away." Sweetie, y'all are fucking delusional, I swear to God. And Jamie McGuire commented that saying, "They can try. I'd blow that skirt up real quick. # locked and loaded." Sis, if you're that scared of the Black Lives Matter movement, I don't know what to tell you. Then Milo Yiannopoulos, who I didn't even know was back on fucking Twitter. If y'all don't know, he's like some conservative figure who says inflammatory shit all the time. He was banned like in 2016, I think. He was banned some time ago. Oh wait, I think this is Facebook. But Milo tweeted, "You never know where a hero will come from or what he looks like," and it's a picture of, again, Kyle Rittenhouse, the domestic fucking terrorist. And Jamie McGuire commented under that, "If this kid isn't released and absolved, it will be the first riot I'll join." So again, the murder of unarmed Black people, the shooting of unarmed Black people, the sexual assault and abuse of unarmed Black women, the fabric of systemic racism in this country, like, none of that is reason enough for you to riot. But a domestic terrorist who murdered 2 people in a state, in a city that he's not from, with a gun he shouldn't own, defending property that isn't his, that's where you draw the line. Like, oh, you can kill as many Black people as you want as long as you have a badge. Like, that's perfectly fucking fine. But if you arrest some white guy who looks like he could be my kid, then that's where I draw the line. I feel like I'm wasting my breath, but it makes me feel better. Ranting makes me feel better. Like, y'all do understand that you don't have to defend every Blue Lives Matter supporter. You don't have to defend every Trump supporter, right? Like, you can easily say, yeah, no, Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have shot those people. That could have been the end of the conversation, but no, y'all have to go and turn him into a goddamn martyr. But then you turn around and accuse the left. You accuse Black Lives Matter supporters for turning these unarmed Black people into martyrs because, look, their record isn't clean. Look, George Floyd was arrested for this and this and this, and, Eric Garner was arrested for this and this and this, and he was selling loose cigarettes, and Mike Brown was a big man and he charged towards the officers, and, they have these lists of excuses to justify the murder of these men, but they're fully willing to martyrize. Is that a word? I feel like it is. They're fully willing to, give this white guy the benefit of the doubt because he looks like he could play fucking baseball with their kid. You know, I feel like part of me shouldn't even be surprised because their books are so bad, and authors can write bad books and be perfectly fine people, but there's like a level of awfulness to a book where you gotta start questioning like the cognitive abilities of the author. Like, you have to start questioning whether or not this person is able to logically think through things. And if you need any other reason to hate Travis, he's probably a Blue Lives Matter supporter too, with his fucking criminology major, which is the most unrealistic thing about that series, in which Travis is a criminology major and he doesn't support the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, come on. If you're going to be studying criminology and you're going to be writing papers about criminology and you're going to be studying the history of criminology in America, law and order in America, the justice system in America, and you're going to come out of that with a degree and not support Black Lives Matter, something isn't right. Like, you used fucking chug the entire way through. You did not turn your brain on once during those classes. This is a fictional man and I'm so fucking heated. Yes. So these are the tweets that really got me heated. Of course, Jamie McGuire supports J.K. Rowling. I feel like that should just be the end of the video. Like, I should just state, Jamie McGuire supports J.K. Rowling. Roll credits. Yeah. I'm hopefully going to be coming out with another video sometime soon. I'm planning on doing a series of videos about the Black Lives Matter movement, specifically focusing in on the women who are oftentimes forgotten. So you can look forward to that. It's not going to be very bookish, but it's going to be pretty political. So if you're interested in that, just comment down below and let me know. So I kind of have like an incentive to make these videos aside from, you know, wanting to share these stories. Yeah, so I'm Sarah. You've been ranting with Sarah. I'm really tired, so good night.